Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What's going on, guys? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast. Hope everybody's doing well. I've got a short one for you today, but it's a good one, and I know that it's a trap that a lot of you guys are in and believe, because I talk to dozens of home service business entrepreneurs every single day. I get dozens of you guys that reach out to me, and I get a lot of comments on my content that revolve around this single topic. And it's the topic that I call the death of the referral, okay? And basically, we're going to talk about how you've been lied to about referral-based businesses and why it is not enough. Before we get started here, you guys know we have a little housekeeping to do. You guys know I own ServiceIndustryCoach.com. We are a print marketing company for home service businesses. We do everything: yard signs, direct mail, door hangers, business cards, NCR forms, the whole 9 yards. We do it all. And you guys also know I do one-on-one coaching, whether it's a one-time call or monthly coaching strategy. So if you'd like to get involved in that, if you need any help with direct mail, which if you own a home service business, you do, and if you want any help from somebody who's done what you're trying to do, the link is in the bio, or go to ServiceIndustryCoach.com. All right, so let's dive into this thing that I call the death of the referral. Now, I noticed this more than ever over the last 3 months. Some of you guys follow me on TikTok, some of you guys don't, but as of recently, I've been posting on a very regular basis on my TikTok page, and my following has grown pretty quickly, specifically with home service business people, and I talk a lot about sales and marketing. Why? Because it's one of my passions, but also it's the core thing that matters inside of every single business. We all know if we don't have leads, if our phone is not ringing, nothing else matters in the business. So very first thing we have to understand is lead generation. Now, as I've been posting videos, I get all of these what I call referral warriors commenting on my post saying that they don't have to market because they have such a good reputation that they get referrals and that they're busier than they can keep up with. Okay, I'm sure you've heard this before. Maybe you've even said this before. People walk around and they carry this around like they've got a trophy in their hand and they're just better than everybody else. But the one thing that I've noticed with every single one of these people, these referral warriors who love to just spout on how they don't have to market their business. So like we as marketing people who are pouring thousands or tens of thousands of dollars every month into our business, like we suck and they don't. Here's the thing I've noticed about these buffoons. These guys have small businesses. They're owner-operators. They're not people you would trade places with. They own jobs, not businesses. And so at a small size, you absolutely can build a business on referral. And if you've been in business for 10, 20, 30 years, you can do some volume on referral for sure. But here is what is the cold, hard truth that a lot of these guys don't want to discuss. One, because they're not skilled enough entrepreneurs to actually scale a business. But two, it's just the truth. And the truth is referrals will only get you so far in your business, to a point where you will have to make the hard decision of, am I okay with staying where I'm at in revenue and never growing any bigger? Or am I ready to finally accept that I've got to learn this thing called marketing in my home service business and start spending money on marketing to get to the next level? All right. And so this is kind of the age-old debate that you hear a lot of guys, kind of argue over. They're like, I don't have to market my business. And there's guys like me that are like, I'm spending as much money as humanly possible because I want to scale quickly. And so a lot of these guys that are referral warriors, they've been in business for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And, maybe they have a $500,000 business or $1 million a year business. And it's like, well, what we just did in our roofing business, which we just hit $1 million in revenue a couple days ago, we did that in 5 months, and it took them 15 years. And so the difference is speed. And not only speed, but the difference is the end outcome. For those guys that have hit $1 million over a 15 or 20 year period, essentially off of word of mouth, they will never grow past that. They will hit a ceiling. Referrals can only get you so far. And so that's where you got to dive into paid marketing. And so the next thing about referrals that you have to understand is that they're great, right? Because a couple things. We love referrals for the aspect that typically if somebody refers us somebody, they already trust us. They're not going to be super price oriented. They're typically actually willing to pay a little bit more because they know you do good work. But the downfall is it's unpredictable lead flow. You aren't able to say, oh, I'm going to get X amount of referral calls this week because you just don't know. It's not a referral, or it's not a marketing source that's trackable in the aspect of I can expect X amount of referrals every single week. Where if you're doing something like direct mail or Google ads, not only is it trackable, but it's actually scalable and repeatable where you can say, if I send X amount of direct mail out based on the data I have, I should get X amount of phone calls when I send those mailers out. And so you can stagger those. Like for us, we send 20,000 pieces out. We'll send 5,000 out per week over the course of a month. And then at the end of that month, we repeat that cycle. Why do we do that? It staggers the phone calls so we don't get overwhelmed while we're still a smaller business. Can't do that with referrals. And so, like I said, this is a quick episode, but I just want you guys to understand, like, you can be the referral warrior of the world, right? And you can tell everybody and brag how you don't have to market your business. But to guys like me who understand marketing and understand scaling, you look like an idiot. Okay? And if you were to say like, man, I don't want to deal with marketing. I just want a small business. I just want to be an owner operator. I just want to kind of slowly grow off of referrals. That's cool. That's one thing. But to put other business owners down who are pushing hard and spending lots of money on marketing to have some bum who can't scale a business, who owns a job, try to put you down because you're actually spending money on marketing, you can't listen to those people. Okay? So the best companies in 2025, they don't wait for people to talk about them. Okay? The best companies, they're like these companies that you see that are doing tens of millions of dollars. You think they're just like, man, we're just going to grow off referrals. No, dude. They're like, man, what kind of scalable marketing process can we put in place so when we pull a lever, the phone rings? All right? And that's how you have to start to think about marketing. Alex Hormozi said this thing the other day, and I'll end with this because I think it was, I wouldn't say it's profound, but it was very clear. And you will never make a lot of money if you are not willing to risk money. I'll say that again. You will never make a lot of money if you are not willing to risk money. Meaning, if you are not willing to put money into your marketing for your business, you will never grow a big business. You're like, well, it's just kind of scary, Matt. Like, what if I do something and it doesn't work? Welcome to business, my friends. You will do many things in your company that don't work. You will literally light money on fire inside of your business, finding things that don't work. That's called business. All companies go through that phase. But the companies that come out on the other side of that because they continue to spend money testing until they find the things that actually work are the ones that scale. Because then they go, man, out of all that wasted money in testing, we found 2 or 3 marketing sources that are scalable, predictable, they're working for us, and then they throw all their money into that and boom, it hits. And then you go, oh, that company blew up overnight. No, dude, they didn't blow up overnight. They tested things and a lot of it didn't work. And so they didn't scale super fast until they found those 2 or 3 marketing levers that did. They put all their money into that and poof, now that looks like they're an overnight success. And so you got to get out of the mindset of like, I'm scared to spend money. Everybody's scared to spend money. Get over it. And if you can't get over it, get a job. It's that simple. Because you're never going to grow a big business by being afraid of losing money in your business. The only way you're going to make lots of money is by losing lots of money first. Because in order to find the things that work inside of your business, you must lose on things that don't work to find the thing that does. And that's that. And so reshift the mindset. Referrals are great. I'm not saying you shouldn't get referrals. I think referrals are amazing. They're one of the best lead sources. They're free. You can typically sell the customers for a lot more money. They're amazing, but they're not scalable. Okay, so don't hear me wrong. Don't hear me saying I don't think they're great. They are. They're wonderful, but they're not scalable. So with that, you've got to figure out your marketing. You got to figure out two or three marketing levers. And with that, you've got to get over the idea of being scared of losing money. You guys know the only reason I've ever been able to scale businesses is because I was unafraid of losing dollar bills. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try. And poof, didn't work. I'm like, gosh, dang it. Next thing. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try. Poof, didn't work. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. Boom, hits. Right? And that's just called business. Okay, why did this work and those didn't? Dive into it. Why did this postcard work better than this postcard? Was it the route? Was it the call to action? Was it the offer? What was it? So you got to test these things, you guys, and it takes money. So, hey, Matt, I really want to build a big business. I want to get to $1 million a year, $10 million a year. Are you willing to lose money? If you're not willing to lose money, go get a job. But if you're willing to lose money, then I can guarantee you that we'll find something that works for you. And then we'll scale it, and you'll be an overnight success to everybody else in your market. But until you're willing to be in the mindset of, hey, I understand, man, I'm going to lose some. But I'm going to find one or two that crushes. And when I find those one or two, I'm going all in, dude, and I'm blowing up. And that's it. And you guys in the home service business space, it's so much easier than every other industry. Like for e-commerce, you're marketing to people you can't even see. You're trusting the algorithms that they're going to show your ads up in front of the people you want them to. Home services, dude, I can see who needs my services with my eyes. Oh, that roof's bad. Man, how do I get in front of that person? I don't know. I could go knock on their door. I could go have a conversation with them. I could send them a piece of direct mail. I could run a Facebook ad around their house. I could put yard signs all around their house. That way, when they're ready to buy, they think of me. Well, that was pretty easy. Cool. How do we do that at scale? You guys, stop overthinking things. This home service business game is not hard. You're making it more complicated. And the reason you're making it more complicated is because you're distracting yourself from doing the things you know you should be doing. All right? So I know we're a little off topic here about referrals. Referrals are great, but we got to figure out marketing levers that work. And listen, the more customers we acquire through marketing, the more referrals you're going to get. It's a beautiful thing. So I love you guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great week. Go do the things you know you need to do. There are things you need to do this week to get your business to the next level. I know you don't want to do them. I know they're not fun. Who cares? Quit allowing your feelings to get in the way. I'll see you soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.